Cptains Log starting 0104202016.3. Starship Excelsior's log NCC 77246. Welcome everyone to the latest update video for you all. So for some of you wondering what's going on, not much, small update, not big. So yesterday, or should I say, what is it? Thursday night, I got paid. I went down, got some. I sent Chloe to give me some tobacco and some medicine. Got bigger bottles now, but these medicine bottles are expensive for a gas station. As Chloe said, it's a convenience factor, but that's all we had, and I was in severe dental pain. So anyway, so what happened was, I want to tell you a couple quick stories. One of my moderators, who I adore, Jenna, has been getting into the debate mode a bit, and I just love it, and, we agree to disagree, disagree to agree, etc. We have our own opinion, so it's all gravy. So anyway, so one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about today was I posted a thing of a gay, lesbian, transgender thing on the MCU. That's the Marvel universe, basically. And, to me, I'll still watch it, but, to put in a trans or gay or whatever, it's, an interesting thing, about the whole story, and to me, I thought that was really cool. And then a couple of things I did post. One of the posts I made was about a woman who basically is suing as I've talked about on my channel, suing the pageant in Oregon, which, my cousin Dinky, I love Dinky a lot, and Lieutenant Tara. And she said, that there's got to be a lot of idiots in Oregon. And I agree. I mean, literally, you got the guy that was from Hawaii, who was a pageant person, who decided to become a man, using their 5 minutes of fame. And then they came out and said they're a transgendered male carrying a baby. And then you got the other thing, with these things is there's a lot of people saying, oh, well, there's a lot of idiots in Washington, in the quadrant of Washington, and, for me, it's all good. I mean, literally, I think it's kind of funny, in my opinion. So, and my cousin, she's really cool, and she was talking about how Oregon's getting really greedy with taxes and permits and everything else, and I agree. I mean, every state's trying to milk you for what it's worth, and to me, it's not cool, so anyway, so with all these debates going on and so forth and so on, a couple of things I wanted to say was, the other thing is this girl is suing the Miss USA pageant because they want real women. Well, Miss USA pageant's usually MISS, which means non-married, no kids pageant, supposedly. So, I was on this website, and one of the news places, Spokane, was talking about it. I was like, look, we must accept the fact that they're going to sue and more likely win. And if they don't win, well, they better have some really good lawyers because of issues. And to me, I just said, look, you guys are becoming bigots, and you're becoming more bigots, and you're bigots to the point of no return. And so in the end, it was a big mess, because frankly, a lot of people out there don't want to, sit there and say, oh, well, a lot of the comments were bigots, and so some people take me as a bigot too, because, being a trans woman or intersex or, like I am, I'm just a female. I don't classify myself as a trans community. So, that's why I post sometimes transgender related crap. I mean, like I said, one of the things was the MCU, the gay, lesbian, transgendered post. The other one was the thing about let's look real quick. The one of the thing was about the Oregon suing, and to me, you could sue all you want in Oregon. The real problem isn't about suing Oregon. I mean, it's like this one. I never shared this one with Chloe. Look at this one. WNBA. Man's trying to join the WNBA.
Oh my
What do you
goodness.
think?
Yeah.
Trans woman, yeah. Then you got this one, and then you got this one, and then you got transgender superhole, and then my daughter's transitioning at 4. Well, we got into a little debate, several people. My friend Ren and my moderator Jenna, we all had a little debate. Jenna was like posting things. I'm trying to be kind of humorous. Okay, I'm one of those people that I accept the trans community, but no one's going to tell me my own opinion. I mean, I had a lady tell me recently something, and frankly, I got so angry. I told her to get the fuck off my channel because I'm not tolerating her assholery. And one of the things, Chloe talks about, she's right there, is Chloe's talking about trans rights yesterday. And she said, look, she says, there's a lot of transgendered people out there, not gays, Asians, Latinos, African Americans, you name it. And Chloe said, look, they're all with the transgender mindset that they're dividing and conquering other trans and gays and etc. And that's Chloe's like, you got one trans people turning around and saying, oh, well, you got to do this and that. And, Chloe and I brought up some good points, and, we stick by our statement. Thing is, we do not hate anyone. Now, my moderator on here and my friend Jenna, she likes watching me. I think it's because maybe it's an entertainment factor, but it might be because, we're both up there in age. I mean, she's like 44 and I'm going to be 42. So, I look up to her, I don't think of her as a bad guiding force. I think of her as like an angel trying to guide me on certain paths, and so I appreciate everything she said, and so forth and so on. I mean, we all have our problems, but I don't interfere in her personal lives. No one interferes with mine, but the reason I wanted to say thanks was the debate was really good. I've never seen that many comments come up, and the comments alone were, really good. I mean, I really enjoyed the comments, and to me, it was just really great, and I just want to give a thumbs up to Jenna and to Ren and to Chloe and to others, I mean, my opinion is, Jenna made a good point, about transgenderism, and if you start early, you might not have to break the face bones. That's true. However, a lot of them that I've read has committed suicide because it's not what they want, or it's something else, or for whatever reason. And I'm not one of these that hates the younger generation. I mean, me and Jenna could go round and round and round on this subject. My personal opinion is we need to leave it. My opinion is, and this is different from anyone else's. So, I respect Jenna's opinion. Chloe knows I respect her opinion. And my opinion goes when it comes to the trans community is, that they should start transitioning at 18 or even 21, even if they look somewhat masculine and hit puberty, because then at least, wouldn't you agree, Chloe, it'd be fair for everyone?
Yeah.
So basically, and now now these parents are turning around and ramming it down the throat, saying, we need to have my kid at 4 take hormones because we need to make them a girl. They want to be a girl. It's like, that's fine and dandy. Let them live as a girl. Give them some puberty blockers or whatever. Don't give them the estrogen or whatever, because
We'll still be good puberty blockers, then they don't have the testosterone.
Well, exactly, and I agree there. But I also think, let them make their own decision. At 4 years old, they can't make it, and this one woman's like, I don't regret it. Well, that's fine and dandy for you. But, the problem is, as I said in my post directly at everyone, is the more the government basically gets pushed around, and Chloe agrees with this, the more the government gets pushed around. And I'm not saying, oh, let's go overthrow the government because we're assholes, but I'm saying the more the government goes and pushes people around, the trans community, I should say, pushes, or gays or lesbians around, the more the government's going to push back and basically do things. I mean, look, under the current administration, they've removed the military thing. You can't be transgender and serve. They say it's a distraction. Well, in my opinion, if you're basically going through a sex change, then yes, it is a distraction and a drain on the financial things. You join to sign up to wear a green beret or a military uniform. You signed up to give your life for your country. You didn't sign up to have a sex change. Now, the government's trying to basically block the veterans from covering it too. And, if you're a veteran, there's other surgeries and stuff that might be more important than a sex change. I mean, look, the taxpayers, for example, I talked to this many times. My adopted grandmother is 94, and she can't get a surgery that's medically necessary because of her age. Yet they'll go and give a 60-year-old a sex change. Now, I'm not against sex changes for older people. That's not the problem. The problem is it's going on to these groups and having these beautiful people turn around and say, oh, well, we need to fam, we need to pass so we could be with a man. I've seen older people, 99% of them. I'm not talking about me and Jenna's age, the middle class, middle age. We're talking the old fuddy-duddies. We're talking to 55 to 80-year-olds old that you've been married so long, their wife or husband died, and then they decide to have a sex change. I mean, to me, it's just, you've lived this long. Just why go and do it? And then make the taxpayers pay for it for you to die a few years later as the sex that you were meant to be. I mean, yes, I agree with Jenna, that maybe younger is a better thing, but I also think it should be fair. I mean, look, if you're going to go literally and I'm going to make a statement here.
You know how many these unpassable baby boomers, a lot of them support the young ones getting it because they want to throw it in the faces of, because here's the thing, there's why a lot of baby boomers, they love Generation Z because they're using Generation Z to tear down the two generations between them and the Z generation, which is Gen X and Gen Y. They want to tear
and Gen X, right?
Yeah. Your generation and my generation, the baby boomers are now thinking they found a way to get rid of us through Generation Z.
Well, let me put it to you there. That's a good concept.
They're taking Generation Z under their wing.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Now that I might not be interrupted for 1 second, I can see that completely clearly being plausible. I'm not going to deny Chloe's opinion. I will say the more likely it is, but at the same time, you got to also basically look at it that the older generation, the boomer generation, boomers are doing it to piss off us because, us Xers, like me and Jenna and others, Jenna's done it too. She's advocated. We've had to advocate for surgery. Now, Jenna had to pay out of her own pocket, so she has more of a better understanding than the people that go in and say, oh, well, it's medically necessary. I need Medicare to pay for it. And then Medicare goes, then they're like, oh, it's medically necessary. I need boobs. And and then they get these huge honking implants. They're like, oh, yeah, I got boobs. Look how big I am. Woo, I'm a real woman. And people look at them like, those are too big, And, it's because of people like me and others. We've basically opened the door, and now others think it's okay for the older generation to go get facial fem, which, it's fine and dandy, but I also think, you got to think about it. I mean, look at it this way. I mean, the people before me, before the insurance covered in 2014, like Jenna, my beloved sister, she had to fucking pay for it out of her own pocket, okay? Now, Jenna knows some others that are on Medicaid and others that's getting it done through other places, but the point I'm making is I have more respect for Jenna because, like my cousin-in-law Dinky says, Jenna had to work her ass off for it, so technically it wasn't a handout, whereas a lot of these people nowadays are trying to push it on the insurance companies, and now the insurance companies backdoored it basically through our current administration that said it's unconstitutional and you don't have to buy insurance. Well, he did that clause, But then he did put another clause in that says all medical treatments on expanded Medicaid or Medicare will be dissolved by 2027 because of tax cuts.
You know,
So,
have you ever thought he might be trying to be using war to get rid of the trans community?
well, yes, I was thinking of that while I was watching Dances with Wolves. Now, the reason I'm saying this, and I was also thinking about it while I was pinching a loaf, which I got a serious problem with hemorrhoids right now, but let me explain why. If he goes and declares war in Iran and gets Congress to pass the draft, right? Somehow gets Congress to pass it. All of a sudden, what happens is money's got to be diverted from other places to cover military. That means he might turn around and say, I'm sorry, you trannies don't get your sex change anymore. Or he might just invoke and draft the trannies and say you're all going to the front lines, and if you die, you die. Oh, well, unless you're severely mentally ill. And then that's the end of it. But a lot of the military thinks
an option. If you want your hormones, you have to go to war.
Yeah, but there's a little problem with that. Again, I was just going to answer that. The other problem is the military thinks also that transgenderism or transsexualism is also a mental disorder, and it ain't freaking a gender. It's a psychological disorder over a what do you call it? A genetic error or the genetic error. So, which a lot of transgender people say it's a genetic error. So, if you look at it, Chloe's point of view, yeah, it's good to think about it, but it's highly unlikely. I mean, I go round and round and round with her all the time over stupid shit. And frankly, at times, I'm looking at myself with my hair setting on fire out of anger because of some of the stupidity she says. Like, I watched a movie yesterday. It made me think about my own life. It was called Inside Out at Disney Pixar, and it was all about 5 personalities. 2 disappear by mistake. 3 were planning to run the lives and tell, and they finally got all back together. It's like a dissociative identity disorder or borderline or bipolar. It's more like borderline because borderline. There's the emotion swing. One minute you can be happy, the next minute you can be raging mad. You want to basically kill someone. The next minute you're happy, or the next minute you're depressed, or there's like 9 symptoms to it. And, I was doing some research on that myself. So, but yeah, I thought I'd share that with you all, So, but yeah, I mean, Jenna and I had a great conversation. As I told Jess that I was going to go live. I did tell Jenna this would be a good conversation piece for the channel because it doesn't, Jenna made some good points. I cannot fault her on any of her opinion, So did Ren. Ren basically did a lot of good comments. Chloe did one that made a lot of sense too, which I was talking about as well, which was, the bathrooms. I mean, a lot of transgender people in schools are being shot down. I mean, the government's now trying to take away that if you're transgendered or gay, you can't work in government offices, which means if that happens, we're going back to the caveman area, as they call it, 50 or 100 years before Stone Age, which means transgenderism, gays and lesbians will be in the closet over coming out because, the government's getting to the point where they don't want to know. And so, and so, et cetera, et cetera. Now, like I said with the beauty pageant thing, if they win, they win. The problem is the government's got to accept, if the government turns around and accepts me as a complete female in all purposes, then I can't go into a male-only sport. I have to go to a female-only sport. So if they say, oh, well, you have to be a natural-born female, then that's a different thing, Then, again, it's, what classifies naturally born? Your soul can be female, your mind can be female, but your chromosomes can be male. So again, it goes up and down. So you have to let the courts decide if this lady's going to win or this lady's not going to win. Now, now, a couple other points I want to make. One of the things I really want to talk about before I get into my everyday thing that happened today and yesterday, and since I didn't post a video, is Jenna made a comment to me, and to me, I am going to say that, I respect everyone's wishes. I do disagree 100%, saying that I'm looking for love on YouTube. I am not, because frankly, in my opinion, and I will say this, if you find the right person to love, you don't need to look for love. Two is you know, uh, I love all people. So technically, so the reason for it is a lot of people out there, there's several trans people I know, they're basically talking to me and they're like, the older generation, they're, wanting to pass, and they keep telling me, order to pass to be with a man. Well, a man doesn't want an inverted penis, basically, not someone who's 60 or 70 and they want to be a cougar and be taken care of. Now, maybe Jenna agrees with that one, but the younger generation, they have to have the facial femme, they have to have the big tits, they have to have the vagina, they have to have the sex with the man. And some of these men were raised as atheists, some were raised as open-minded, and others were raised as closed-minded. Now, I'm literally talking about from my experience of 20 years, okay? I don't know if Jenna would consider me a old tranny, as some would say, because I've transitioned 20 years and I've been post-op almost 2 next month. But 4 years ago, I had these breast implants and the facial work done. So to me, I consider myself just a average woman. I don't dwell on looks. A lot of people say, oh, well, you dwell on looks. I don't dwell on looks. I wish I did, but I don't. So, me being jealous, no. I live my life. Like today, I ran into a friend of mine that works at the grocery store, and I said, staying out of trouble. And she says, are you staying out of trouble? I said, I try. And she just laughed. And she followed me around for a bit. She's like, you're not going to go get booze? I go, nope, I got movies I'm watching. Movies are more important than alcohol. So, it was really funny. But I went in because she thought I needed the chips for the booze. She's like, oh, you must have some at home. I said, no. Nope. I wanted popcorn, and I wanted chips, and so forth. And to me, it's really good, because of the issues. And so to me, I found this to be a relaxing, time to sit down, watch movies, and so forth. So, but with the looks, for example, I live my day every day. I know people, and I know a lot of women all over the place don't wear makeup. Well, talking to someone last night, family member of mine, we were talking about women with makeup and not makeup, and my friend said with the transgendered people sucking up a lot of the makeup and having to put makeup on more and more all the time, the problem is the true women, true is what he said, was that they put on light makeup or no makeup at all. They go out in public with no makeup because they want to stand out as a normal girl that doesn't need to spend money on makeup. And makeup is expensive, Chloe realizes that. I mean, look, Chloe's kicking herself in the butt because I went out of my way to get makeup because she needed makeup. And, with the current finances the way it is, it's kind of hurting anyways. But anyways, I'm not dwelling on looks. I'm not jealous of it. And if they're saying, Jenna was saying I'm looking for love, no, because there's a guy out there already that's interested in me and knows who I am and loves me dearly. And, we talk all the time, and he's a saint. And the other day, we were talking about medicines because he had surgery and he went back to work for his knee surgery. And because of it, my saint, as I call it, was always in pain. So I said, why don't you just go to this, he goes to the work, goes home, and doesn't have much time, I think, for himself, to go to the store and stuff, maybe once a week. And I'm like, why don't you just get some medicine, like Tylenol or ibuprofen, and he's like, oh yeah. So I went ahead and because he sent me some Christmas and birthday money and stuff, and he said Christmas after Christmas money sooner or later, and I care for this guy dearly, so I went ahead and got the meds ordered several large bottles of like Tylenol and ibuprofen, and I'm like, here, I just got to order the coffee for him. But the point is I care for enough for him. He's a gentleman that I frankly think, personally, it's great, and I don't think in my heart that someone needs to tell me I'm looking for love, which I'm not. I mean, frankly, I know Chloe looks at me sometimes like, oh, but you know what? Chloe also has admitted that she's basically drove a wedge between me and her as friends, even because of her poisoned tongue attacking me every time I turn around, and etc. So sometimes Chloe gets angry at the trans community because, they say she's too mentally ill. She can't have surgeries and everything else. And I understand where she's coming from. I mean, my adopted mother, who's transgendered, is Canadian. Danielle's mother, Danny, said, that you got the aggressive ones that are either older ones with bald heads, or African Americans or Hispanic pushing for their surgeries, Latinos, and they're pushing for it. And Chloe isn't even pushing. It's like, can I get my letters? Oh, no, you don't do it. Well, where do I go? Where these ones are like, you're going to give me my letter because it's discrimination. I'm going to sue your ass. And all of a sudden, they're like, here you go. I said to Chloe, if you go and do the same shit, they might just give it to you. Say, if you don't give me my letters, I'm going to sue you because of discrimination.
If I say that, they'll probably be like, I don't give your letters. You go in the room. Yes, we need law enforcement here. We need a lot of men here. This person's dangerous and threatening. They're violent. And we need a commitment team.
I mean,
in the meantime, they call it the mill places. Don't worry, we have you a new patient you can milk the cash cow off of.
The point I'm saying, out of love is, that I'm not looking, and so, jealous of the looks. Well, like I said, everyone should be treated with fair equality. And if the transgender community is breaking away from the equality and saying, fuck you, let's give these 4-year-olds a sex change, then the problem is you're going above and beyond to screw over everyone else, and it's going to blow up in everyone's face. And literally, as I was trying to say, in a post out of love for my own opinion, even my own friend Ren basically agreed. The fucking government's going to strip it. They're going to strip it from male to females. They're going to strip it from female to males. They're going to strip it off. They got rid of the military. They're trying to basically have the Supreme Court rule that it's this, and this, and the Supreme Court rules it. Then they turn around and they go ahead and they went out and said, by 2027, the insurance plans will be reprogrammed where you can pay higher rates for pre-existing conditions because the Affordable Care Act is no longer valid because A, it was taken away with the Trump's tax plan, and 2, as it's been ruled unconstitutional. You can't force to buy insurance. It's illegal. So if you have problems and you don't can't afford insurance, so well, it's a hospital. Eat the cost. I mean, literally. So to me, it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. The other states are finding ways to backdoor not paying for it. Oh, you need 20 letters. You need this. You need that, And, the government is eventually going to turn around and say, look, we're running out of money. Chloe agrees with me. Only at the fact that she agrees with me, only at the fact that she sees them basically turning around and going ahead and giving the whole what do you call it, Jerry? Block grants for medical. So when you get a block grant, they're going to say, oh, $20,000 a year. You got to use it for medical and dental and glasses and, this sex change is cosmetic. It's only cosmetic. You're just taking your penis and turning it inside out. We're giving you breast implants, which is cosmetic. And we're doing your face, which is cosmetic. So cosmetic, not covered. So they're going to basically find a way to backdoor it. And if I guarantee if our beloved president, I know Chloe's against him, I'm just saying it because, our beloved president decides to do this, and gets reelected for a second term, and I'm saying, oh, woe, not woe is me, but it's going to be pretty damning for the trans community because the trans community out there is going to basically get shit on yet again. Literally, they're going to get shit on over and over again to the point of no frickin' return. And that is why we need to pull together our bootstraps, you know. So basically, I wanted to share that. Jenna made some really good posts. I love Jenna dearly. She is my family, you know, extended family. I have no beef with her at all, none whatsoever. Like I said, I love all people. And I know Jenna was probably waiting for a what we call the classic bloody lamb roasting, but I'm not going to lamb roast my own sister, just like I won't lamb roast my other moderators or family. Literally, I mean, that's how it is, you know. And to me, you know, I love her dearly, and you know, her opinion counts. I mean, literally, I basically brought debates to the table to debate them, not to basically let any one side win the debate. And you know, saying, you know, I mean, the way I got a lovely message from Jenna was kind of like Home Alone. Do you give up, or are you thirsty for more? Well, I didn't give up. The thing is my opinion's mine, hers is her. I respect everything she does for the community. I'm not going to sit there and have a weenie roast with her or a lamb roast or roast the hell out of her. I mean, we all have our own opinions, you know, and I love her opinions. I mean, honestly, it gave me something to think about. Chloe and I were conversing about it last night. We're actually trying to figure out a few things, you know. And literally, Chloe said, "Do you dislike the trans community?" And I'm like, "No." Thing is, I don't like him because the last 20 years, I've seen nothing but people on all these talk shows being bashed and beat and murdered or, you know, maimed because they came out and it's like, so you didn't know you were dating a guy. No, but I'm done with them. They're, you know, and they go on and they're screaming and yelling, you know, and, you know, on these talk shows. And to me, it's not cool. I mean, literally, it is not cool. And, you know, they're making us all look bad. I'm not talking about Jenna, but the talk shows. So for the last 20 years, you know, or you read about things like Spokane transgender girl, 16 or 17, getting murdered because she went online and she was talking to a guy, and supposedly, you know, the guy found out that she had a willy, and you know, and that's you know thing is this happens, you know, and you know, I mean, I basically said, you know, someone said to me, you know, I must be a bigot because I promote violence. I don't. The thing is as Chloe and I discussed, you know, that if someone deceives a man and the man finds out his wifey or fiance or future wifey was a former dude and she didn't tell them, and she either gets severely hurt, maimed, or murdered, then you know our opinion is I never condone violence, but to me my opinion was it's justified for this guy's mindset. It's like Jenna, she's justified in what she's saying. Same with the other people. We're all justified in our own words. And to me, I am justified by my actions because I basically said, you know, someone like that, you know, oh well. I mean, my other post was, you know, the 8 points, you know, again, you know, it's like, oh well, you know, but you know, when Jenna brought up love, it was about the younger generation. Now, some of the younger generation, I will admit, are atheists or not religious, and some of these younger generation guys don't believe in God, so it's okay if they're dating a former dude because they don't care. Maybe it's a rejection thing. They've been rejected too many times with girls, so they went with the closest thing possible. Aaron had a theory on that too. Aaron had a theory on everything. I mean, look, I've been rejected too by women. I've been rejected by so many women. I try to keep my personal life out of YouTube as much as possible. I don't talk about the death of Fiona. I don't talk about the death of Aaron much. I miss them both. I don't talk about the women that, you know, I was dating with as a, you know, when I was trying to live a lie, you know, as a man for my mom. I mean, I've dated trans women, you know, and to me, I'm not really angry with the fact of what is going on in the world. I love all people. And so, you know, to me, I'm not looking for. If I'm looking for love, Jenna knows I'm probably 99% of the time wasn't for St. Jose, I would probably be going for a nice trans woman who's lesbian, who's got a nice rack and a beautiful face. And one of my favorite features is a beautiful face and a nice rack. I mean, literally. I mean, when people look at me, they're like, well, Chloe doesn't have a beautiful face or a nice rack. And she's got a terrible personality. And my old man used to say, you know, my step.
Who says I'm ugly?
Anyways, let me just put it this way, you know. I'm just saying, you know, but let me just put it to you this way, okay? When it comes to being a woman, I tried to explain this to Chloe the other day. It's not what you have on the outside that counts, because the outside you age. It's what's inside that counts, okay? With me, I act like a woman. I walk, you know, I go everywhere as a woman. People say, hey, Rita, hey, girl, what's up? Same with Chloe. My problem is my stepdad taught me a long time ago that you can look at the most prettiest pictures. And I'm going to say this kind of vulgar. Being a open-minded woman, I can speak my mind. I think Jess might get a kick out of this one. Commander Jess, my friend and mentor and somewhat master. I joke around with that. But one of the things I wanted to say is it's what's here that counts. Doesn't matter your age. So a trans woman who people think I'm jealous because of the looks, they're going to look pretty bad later in life. You know, people say, oh, no, they're just going to look like an older woman that they are. Really. Thing is a lot of them, the most of my problem is deceit. It isn't about their looks. It's about deceiving. And I've seen going through gender clinics and gender group meets and groups and stuff that they all basically are always talking about, as Chloe's talking about groups, trade or penis or sex or, you know, but the funny thing is when it comes to love, you know, and looks, you know, the looks will fade. It's the personality that counts. So if you have a terrible personality, a terrible, miserable soul, then more likely you're not going to be a nice freaking person. I was raised to be a nice freaking person. Shower everyone with kindness. There you have it. So, I mean, literally, I mean, I love all you guys. I love to talk to you guys. I wanted to share that with you all. I mean, literally, it's the way of of things. I mean, look, like I said, the trans community eventually is going to go down the toilet. And it's the doing mostly of the trans community. The Democrats are trying to hold everything together, but you got the Republicans holding the president together, holding his supposed high crimes and misdemeanors together, so they can't remove him from office. And then on top of that, he wants to go to war. Well, like Chloe said, we go to war, there's more money to be diverted. You won't be seeing a sex change for a while. They're going to find everything to cut corners to cover the war and everything else over the sex change.
He's probably doing this war to get rid of the LGBT and to also avoid impeachment. He figures if there's war, he gets to stay in office and no one can touch him.
Actually, that's not true. You can still vote him out. But here's the problem with Chloe's statement. You see, she's right, but she's wrong. He can turn around and he could be doing this, like Chloe said, to get rid of the LGBT. But the problem is before he can go and do this supposed mastermind plan that Chloe's talking about, he's got to explain to Congress why he had supposedly assassinated or ordered the assassination of a general and the general's helper or whatever. Because, you know, now Iran wants to go to war with us. Now, if anyone knows anything about history of World War I, it was caused by a prince being assassinated. And that's what dived us into World War I and then World War II. And, you know, then, you know, we were stupid. We started the Korean War. We shouldn't have been in that one. And we shouldn't have been in the Vietnam War or First Gulf War and all this. But you know what? It was good for the money makers and runs the War Department because they get kickbacks and everything else. So who cares, right? So anyway, so basically, like I said, eventually it's going to be the doing of the trans people. It's not going to be just one person that's going to be doing the damage of the trans community. It's going to be the whole community as a whole. Because as I was trying to explain is you got And this is where it gets complicated. You got trans people turning around and supporting the younger ones getting their surgeries, but you're getting these young ones going to school, and some of them get beat up. Some of them get the crap kicked out of them. Some of them even get murdered. Parents throw the fit and pull their other kids out of school because the trans in school, using the female bathroom or the male bathroom. And guess what? It works to the point of, that in the end, look what happens. I mean, literally, it basically goes and falls apart. And when it does, and then what about the locker room? How do you explain when a whole bunch of girls in the locker room talking about girl stuff, and all of a sudden a trans girl comes in there and strips, and instead of having a vagina, they got a peenie. I mean, literally, Chloe brought that up. I mean, the parents would throw a shit fit, and it would basically cause a whole bunch of stink. So who's got to clean the mess up? The government, because the trans people are sitting there saying, "Oh, it's got to be," well. Maybe try making a transgendered exclusive bathroom or a locker room for the trans people. I mean, literally, maybe then we wouldn't have this problem. Because frankly, it's the way it works. There you have it. And so you got the trans community turning around and doing their thing, and they're demanding more. They want surgeries covered on Medicare. Insurance goes up. Same with Medicaid premium or the insurance plans through companies. It goes up because they're covering this. They can cut the insurance plans down. Oh, well, we're not covering you if you're a smoker. Oh, if you're transgender, we're not covering you. They can do those. Eventually, they can find back doors to stop all of it and only pay for the basics and still making a profit for you paying through the nose for insurance. If you want insurance, insurance companies don't have to provide now because it's supposedly unconstitutional. And so, I mean, I've done some research that, the Affordable Care Act will go bye-bye soon. I guarantee it. Thing is you got to look at the whole trans community. They're flocking out by droves trying to get the surgeries covered. Older, younger, middle age, every age bracket, because they're afraid it's going to be taken away. So you got the ones fighting for breasts, face, gender surgery. Female to males, you got some of them fighting to try to get male facial surgery and other things like, ovaries, uterus removal, etc. You got transgender people now saying, well, it's possible to shave your body down to make yourself more height size for females. I think, my trans sisters out there would agree. You can't just saw off your legs and try to grow new ones or try to graft them because, frankly, how do you do it? Literally, bone can't be basically. What are you going to do? Cut your legs down and then put a metal clamp around it so it shortens it? I mean, come on. I mean, literally, you'd be like half part metal, and that's just downright wrong, and so many levels, and metal and skin and I'm sorry to say, yeah, it's not good. So to me, you gotta look at the big picture, with the community. And that's what I'm doing. So I distance myself because I don't want to be part of the community. Now, I basically do these rants or discussions on YouTube because it's my hobby. But I also have other things to do. So, out of love for Jenna, I agree with the current administration. They could screw up royally and we'd all be fucked. So technically, we have to take it one day at a time. And so, and the community is divided. You got the older ones, the mid-class, and the younger ones all competing for those surgery spots, but also they're competing for other things. And then when they don't get their way, they want to sue, like beauty pageants and sports and other crap, and then they make the news. Oh well, I'm an all female, so I should be with the WNBA or whatever. Stuff like this that makes the news. And I just want to say before I get into another debate with my sister Jenna out of love, I will say that if the people out there did not post this crap on YouTube, I'm just reiterating it, okay? On Facebook or social media out of love, that to see others' opinions, I really do like seeing where the story comes from, reading comments, because a lot of them are bigotry. They're literally a bigot, okay? And the people out there have the mindset that if you're born a man, you're a man. You can't change your genetics. I know a lot of people, a family member that say that you can't alter your DNA to be female. So, you can live as a female, you can act like a female, but you're never going to be able to bleed or have a baby. So to them, you're just a wannabe woman or a fake woman. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, and then you got the men who's like it's a mental illness. They're a faggot, or a gay, or I've been called faggot a couple times, or gay, or lesbian, or whatever. So to me, it's just a bunch of wonky BS. To me, I mean, I literally I'm watching the entire community go down the toilet. And I'm distancing myself because I have other things to do over dwelling on it, and if I dwell on it, because I'm Cherokee, so I am always worried about my people, and the trans community, but I can't do anything because I see all these people coming out, and then you see these guys saying, oh, well, she had it coming, that girl there deceived a man, met her, and didn't find out she had big old Mr. Kanishi, so off she went, got greased. I mean, literally, or lead poisoning. I mean, or stabbing, or poisoned, or whatever, hanging. And to me, I think it is freaking sick. Okay, murdering them because of it. But again, you need to be honest. Now, Chloe was talking to me about, Sister Jenna's post, privately, and she says, from what she understands in Arizona, they're not open-minded. They're basically they deceive. It's all about sex, getting a guy and milking him for everything that isn't nailed down. So to me, I think it's a legitimate right. So, but I've seen that too over the years. I've had transgender people that had double D implants going, you're never going to be a woman, Rita. You need to be a man for me. Fuck me, fuck me. And I'm like, no. I mean, it took me 20 years, and I can tell you I'm proud of how much I've accomplished. The only thing I'm not proud of is trying to get Chloe to learn to control that temper of hers. I mean, she's like the little red dude in the head in Inside Out. You want a piece of me, punk? Would you just shut up? I mean, literally, she's the hothead where you could just take her and flip her upside down by the window and burn a hole in it to get her other buddies back to balance her again. I mean, literally, it's funny. But all right, so with this video being so long, and I gotta send Chloe to the store soon, we're gonna go get some corn dogs for dinner, and we're gonna watch the movies. I've told Chloe to hurry it up because I wanted to share a couple things. One is we're going to be renting Rambo Last Blood tonight. Nice. And we're also renting a movie called The Flowers of War. Unfortunately, we're not going to be renting them if Chloe Spice doesn't get off her RC and goes to the store Z.
I'm going to the store.
So, and so, I've already went out today. So here was my plan since I last talked to you. So yesterday, Thursday night, got paid, wasn't feeling good. I stayed up all night. In the early morning, Jose, that sweetheart, I said, oh, this was ordered. Is this cool? And he's like, oh, you're too much, Rita. Out of love, he's like, you're too much. You're doing so much, and, I care for him. And so then afterwards, I says, yeah, I wish you were with me. We'd have breakfast together. So I went out to get an omelet, right? It was a lot of money. I mean, I had an omelet, a couple cups of coffee, and Chloe had a hot chocolate and some water. And, I don't even know if she ate all of her food.
I did.
Oh, you did?
That steak was good.
She had a chicken fried steak for breakfast. I had the omelet. And I'm telling you, I had a side order sausage. And I think the next time I do the omelet, I'll try to side order bacon because the sausage tasted like garbage. Tasted like dookie. So anyway, so what happened was afterwards, I went to, first I went down there and I went to the post office. Then I had enough dip. I decided, you know what? I'm going to run over to the gas station. Went to gas station. Then I went back, and then I went into the restaurant, sat down, and the lady's like, "Are you a service dog?" And I'm like, "Yes, he's a service
Where do you
dog."
go, King's or Marketplace?
You got to go to King's. Marketplace is closed. Corn dogs are on
It
sale.
closes in half an hour.
Well, King's has the corn dogs on sale. Marketplace charges $10 a box.
I'll go to King's and get the corn dogs.
Yeah, honey crunch. So basically, then what happened is after we went to the gas station, we had breakfast. Lady was screwing a fit about Moppy, so we finally got that covered. And then we went to have over to the grocery store, and I went in there and I was looking around, and we got a couple items, and I went home, and the manager was in early, so I paid the rent, and then I decided after I paid the rent to turn around, and I waddled along to and then I went, and put a movie in, and we watched it, and then I decided after I would watch it, I was getting tired, so I fell asleep, and before I went out, I watched the entire and this is something I know Jess wants to hear about, Disney Plus, my opinion on it. I watched the entire series of the Little Mermaid. I still got the Lion King to do. Cinderella's got 3. We watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That was pretty good. I like 2, where he finds love. Again, the theme is finding love. But no, I actually enjoyed it, and I find Disney to be really good. Disney Plus, and then so then yesterday I got up, right? This was after breakfast. Yesterday morning I had breakfast, and then I went, I got up and I was looking at my computer screen, and I'm like, Chloe's like, I'm like, finally I'm like, sleep some more. And she goes, oh, all right. So finally, I got things moving on, got things done, did some spreadsheets, did some other stuff. And, finally, I was looking through stars. Okay. Now people sit there and say, well, what's better, stars, Disney or HBO or Showtime? Well, I went with stars because Disney made me a deal. It was like $1 a month for like 12 months. So I can't complain. So if I'm paying $1 a month for movies, I ain't gonna freaking complain. So what happened was I went in, I looked at stars, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I wanted to watch the Sackett, so I watched the Sacketts. I watched the Mr. Brown series of the Da Vinci Code series, and I've been looking for other movies to watch. So last night, Chloe and I were talking about VHS tapes. And I says, have you seen Dances with Wolves? And she says, oh, no. So we put it in. We got about 2/3 of the way through it, and I fell asleep. So when I got up this morning, I was in pain. So I took some pain pills, drank some coffee, got ready to go. I was planning to watch it later today after our errands, which I finished it recently, and it was really good. And when I was sitting there, I looked over and I looked at Chloe, and I said, Chloe's like, we got to watch Australia sometime this month. I said, you know what? We'll do that because we're paying really cheap for it. And, have stars as an entertainment avenue, because frankly, people sit there like my father-in-law, and he buys like Hulu, and he's like, I'm paying $40 a month. I'm saving like $200. Well, good for you, Poppy. Thing is I don't need Hulu, because unless I can find my TV shows, I found the Knight Rider I like in Miami Vice on Stars. So it's like, why should I pay, a Magnum PI? Now if I can get a whole Airwolf, that's a different story. But I can always look. But anyways, if it isn't there, I'll check somewhere else. I mean, literally, I'll check Amazon. Amazon's got movies too. They have the A-Team, Knight Rider, and Werewolf on Amazon. I'll watch them. I mean, I'm already paying for Amazon. So to me, I find, Star Trek alone's worth it, the free shipping. So if I'm watching all the Star Trek, what's the point, Now, Disney for the $7.57 a month for my entertainment. I'm paying for the Disney movies. So technically, I don't. They're like, do you want to pay $7 more and get Hulu and ESPN? It's like, why? ESPN, I'm a baseball fan, so and Sony View is going out of business there, so that leaves with like 4 different online streaming apps. And to me, I don't really want to pay for a lot of TV. I mean, I'm already doing it. So tonight when I saw Forrest Gump on Stars and King Ralph and down Periscope and a few other movies, I'm like, you know what? This isn't our movie lineup for this weekend. So that was all good. Now, the problem with my movie lineup is not about the movie lineup so much, is the problem is that we have, is the problem I have is, yesterday morning, Friday morning, I got up and I was looking at an email. And I was like, no. So I went over to FedEx because, as you all know, my computer's been fully rebuilt. A new one sent either or. It's fine by me. And I go and I'm like, yes, it's in on Monday. Now it's saying it's on Thursday. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, my patience is wearing thin to get my computer back because I really want to get into Guild Wars 2, the expansions. Chloe knows this. Unfortunately, we have to wait. Which brings me to another gripe in a second of my whole video part. But Chloe knows I'm griping because I want it back. Making me wait till Thursday, right? I watched it go this following Monday from Memphis across the country, tracking it all the way through Google Maps. And currently it's sitting in Troutdale, Oregon. I mean, literally, it's going to take 5 extra fucking days to get here. What? You got to leave it in the warehouse for the weekend? Put it on the truck. It'll either go to Spokane or freaking Tacoma. Then from there, you take it off, and then Sunday it gets moved up. Time it gets to me through Seattle and Everett and wherever else, Renton or whatever other distribution, Burlington, that's another one. Then we would have no problem. But no, I gotta wait till Thursday. So I'm sitting there kind of worried. But God willing, it'll be delivered and, everything will be in gravy top shape operation. I love my family and I love Chloe. Everything is totally awesome. Literally totally awesome, and I will let you know how, when I get it back, the support ticket, how they package it. I will give you a full update, on that problem, So to me, it is all good and all gravy. Now, like I said, Chloe's, everything is, everything's good, and so I just wanted to share that with you. I want to say it. Jenna's watching. I loved your debates, girl. Thank you. So final part of this video is this morning, like I said, I got up and had my coffee and Chloe slept in and then we had to get ready and, I'm kind of forgetful. I watched the movie Inside Out and I gotta say it's pretty much like my own personality, and that's because, I have the traits of the 5 personalities, sorry. Basically, there's joy or happiness, then there's sadness, which mine's always fluctuating from joy, happy to sad. I mean, there's no anger. Anger only comes out with Chloe basically driving me to the point of me going insane, which is frankly a lot. She's just like, she'll run me down nerve-wise, that's, I know one reason why I talk about my channel, Chloe gets mad at times like, don't talk to me, blah, 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 and then goes and attacks my family, her family, or whatever. It's a borderline. I mean, if she had the right therapy to cope, she would realize I'm not trying to piss her off, but then she goes and attacks my family, and then I got to go into the defensive battle command, battle droid robot type thing and be like, look here, Missy, you have 2 choices. You calm the fuck down or you get the fuck out. And my answer all the time is that Chloe just sits there like a deer in headlights. Like, I mean, literally, you got to basically take the stands once in a while and say, look, and that's the only time my anger comes out. Now, my anger does come out a little bit more like today. I'm sitting around, right? And Chloe's like, I'm going into the storm. And what really angers me also, and it's a trigger, is this lady is me and Chloe are women, okay? People sit there and they say, oh, you're more better women than these ugly men in dresses that we've seen. Like today, one lady was like, hey, hon, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You're one of these rare women that basically doesn't give a shit about, what others think about your dip, and we're talking from my Chloe's like, I'm going to go without you. And the lady's like rolling her eyes going, what's her problem, and it's like, thing is, me and the lady were having a conversation about movies, and Chloe's like, I'm ready to go. And it's like, and it gets really to be a trigger to the point where my little hothead in my head that's controlling the controls are going, like, what the fuck is your problem? Literally. And then, like today, for example, I got up, and we went down to the store, a little gas station first. And so our first, one of the stores was the grocery store. Chloe wanted a donut or something, and we went and had a donut. And then, or whatever. She's like, do you want a soda? And I was like, no. Do you want some candy? I'm like, no. Because, Chloe means well. And Chloe, this is the thing with Chloe, Chloe means well, I'm giving her my debit card, and I'm like, go get the corn dogs, But thing is Chloe's like, do you want some M&Ms? Do you want some orange juice? Do you want some juice? And I'm like this, like my husband, you. And Chloe's like, what's the problem? You don't want me taking care of you? And it's like, no. And then, when we're going up to the gas station, right, I'm getting my dip, and she's like sitting there, and right before we get to the dip, I go to the bathroom, and I come out, Chloe's like, oh yeah, the reason you keep denying yourself help is because, I can't help, I can't give you anything because I'm on food stamps. I'm like, wow, it took you a whole 20 minutes for me to go from the grocery store to the bathroom before going to get the dip to pinch a massive load, which ends up having hemorrhoids, to figure that out. She's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, don't worry about it. So we get everything done. We get to the food bank because, Chloe goes in there for herself. It's not for me because, they usually don't have what I like, at the food bank. And so to me, for me, it was, I'm waiting out there and it's like, your dog better not shit on the floor and the lawn and this and that. And I'm sitting there going, and she's like, oh, if you can, I'm like, look, I don't use the food bank. I'm here because my companions over at the grocery store, we were first here, so let her go. Well, she's like, I'm like, look, I finally looked at her in a nice tone. I said, look, baggies, more baggies, more baggies. I pick up. She's like, oh. Well, there's a dog. I'm like, look, my dog's a trained service dog. If he goes, we pick up. We don't just leave it sitting on someone's fucking lawn. Or in the parking lot. She's like, so then finally Chloe comes back and I'm like, Chloe, I gotta go to the store. And she's like, oh boy, there's no problem. I'm like, there is if you have a fucking full bladder. And she goes, oh, go. So I go in there, I'm talking to French. She's like, hey girl, what's up? How's it going? And then she was talking about these tall trans people like Chloe's dad that's like 7 foot, 7'7". And then talking about Hispanics, and I said, well, most of the Hispanics pass, and some African Americans that don't pass, and I'm going, so, I'm like, look, we'll talk about this in a minute, if you wish. So I ran to the bathroom. Well, then I go, and I'm walking around the grocery store, and, the manager's like, hey, how goes it? You see that post about this? And I'm like, yeah, the whole MV thing. Then they're talking about 4 years old. Well, I know a couple women that are first-time grandmas, and they're like, can I get your blessings, Rita? And I'm talking to them, and they're like, yeah, can you believe that? 4 years old. My daughter even won't let their 4-year-olds, even the 4-year-old tried killing themselves. There's a lot of protection in place. They're just using this to get this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'm going. And then I'm pushing around, and then the little hothead comes on again, like, what the fuck is your problem? And, and then I'm stopping, and my other friend, she's like, are you okay? And I'm going, yeah. Oh, you're not going to get that item? I go, no. And I'm like zooming around. She's like, are you okay? And I go, yeah, between the Marvel Universe thing about transgenderism to trans woman trying to get into the NBA, the WNBA, to a beauty pageant. I mean, everything came up. I mean, I don't have any friends pretty much except for a couple here on this on the island station. So to me, I'm sitting there going. Meanwhile, I'm like. So I'm going around the store as fast as I can, and I'm getting what I can, and I'm looking at everything, Now, I picked up a bag of chips, which I told myself I wasn't going to do. I regret it. And, I got some popcorn, and I was looking for dish soap. Bar soap was too much. He's like, you're not getting your bar soap? You're not getting this? I'm like, look, I'm on a fixed income. I got to basically make sure things last for a month, okay? I said I got toilet paper, paper towels ordered. I got razor blades I got to order. But what's the problem with getting that Ranger by interior? Because I'm not paying the price. And then my little hothead came on like, what the fuck is your problem? Your prices are too high. And I'm like, got out, and I was leaving. Lady knocks over some beef jerky, and I'm like, ugh, helped out. And I was like, grab some beef sticks. I put it in my bag, and my friend's like, oh, yeah, you don't look too happy today, Rita. I'm going, oh, yeah, you being not happy too if you better stopped all the time talking about these issues. She's like, well, we thought we'd ask you because you're, well, intersex. And I'm going, oh, yeah, gee, thanks. My friend, of course, is like, sure you're not getting any booze or have any at home? I'm like, no, I don't have any booze at home. Quit asking. And she's like, okay, I just, I'm like, she's like, maybe you could use a drink. I'm going, no, what I need is for people to leave me the fuck alone. Then I get outside. Chloe's like, oh, we need to do this and that. And I'm going, oh, great. I got to carry a shopping cart home with a box in it full of food from the food bank, which the only thing I get is the milk. And, Chloe, and I'm like, and so I got to push all this home with your ramen, your other stuff you bought from the store earlier, and then I gotta go and put my stuff in here, which is stuff that we need for the house. Finally, I'm just like pushing along, going, literally, and I'm like, and so, to me, I'm like, ugh. So, then, after I got home, I was like, I'm gonna do some spreadsheets. I got 9 out of 11. I got 2 to go. I was gonna do the other 2 tomorrow. I'm not in a busy hurry. My computer is not. And then when I do it, I gotta upload the entire thing to download it from Google Drive. But downloading is easier than uploading. Uploading takes time, but you get the idea. So, I was just furious, and I just thought, I'd share that with you. So I got movies galore to watch tonight. I will be going back to Stars to watch Forrest Gump and King Ralph and down Periscope, as well as Flowers of War, which has cost me $4.24. And then the other one I'm renting is Rambo Last Blood. I wonder when that Terminator movie's coming out for theaters, because that one looks like really good too, because I frankly don't like the fact that going to the theater costs too much. I mean, you go in there, it costs like $10 for a ticket, and then you gotta buy drinks and stuff. I mean, the last time I took Chloe to the theater, it was like $50. So to me, I'm like, So to me, if I can get more movies and keep her contained out of her anger, it's fine. Her anger will flip, mine does it too. I mean, literally, I don't get as angry as much as Chloe, but lately I've just been really, really, how do I say it? With Sister Jenna and the debates and other posts and everything else, I've just been wore down, and I think Jenna understands, herself, out of brotherly and sisterly and family love, that some people just get burned down, and I frankly, I'm to the point where I don't care, yeah, I do talk about, the certain aspects of the debate, but, being an older woman, it's more of a, I don't give a shit, because I've been through a lot, and to me, I don't want to think about it. And, she made some good points. I made some good points, and to me, like my family already said, they're proud of me. They said it takes a lot of miracles and patience to get to where I can basically feel more and more comfortable about myself than anything. And I just go out every day as a normal person, whereas others, they're like, oh, how's over the vagina? Is the vagina great? The vagina is A for peeing, okay? And it makes you feel complete. I was talking to a doctor the other day. He messaged me. I'm close friends with a doctor. And I'm close with most of the gender doctors because, I've wrote them and talked to them by email. And they think of me as an old-fashioned woman who writes a lot of snail mail. And one of my doctors that I'm close with said, So the vagina makes you complete and makes you feel. Yeah, he gets so many doctors, that say the same thing. What do you want? Why do you want gender surgery? Well, I need to have a big old dick in me. I need sex. I need to feel complete with sex. The doctor gives it to them, but they're like, are they really fixed on having a penis in them? Or what happened to being a normal woman who may be lesbian, who just wants to be complete? And if sex comes into the picture, it's fine. Otherwise, literally, I don't know. It's totally funny, because of the whole ordeal, it's the same doctor that's like, when you basically say, yeah, I want to be complete and feel whole, and sex might be down the line, like at the time, I said I was going to be sexually active with Aaron. Unfortunately, he wasn't around. He died. So I said, because that went down the toilet, oh well, I don't need to be active with anyone. I was mourning. Well, you know how it went with the surgery, and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. That that it just went all to poop, just went to all the shit, literally went to freaking shit. And so to me, they say, oh, does it save lives? And, that's the other thing. When these trannies are like, oh, yeah, it saves lives, otherwise there'd be too many of them committing suicide. Well, the thing is I just want to say, and I'm not promoting violence or suicide in any way, shape, or form. And I'm wondering what that noise was. Turns out it's this guy scratching himself. Come here, say hello on the video. Oh, here we go. Look at my little Shih Tzu. Isn't he so cute? His winter coat's growing. Hello, everyone. I'm Happy Shih Tzu. Hello, hello. Yep. Hello, hello. Yep. Hey, Monty, so you got your hearing aid in today. Uh-huh. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I've had doctors tell me that, if they truly do save lives, I've seen a lot of people sit there, right? And they turn around and they want to commit suicide. And, and a lot of them, they get labeled, the trans community, the male females get labeled either bipolar, schizophrenic, or borderline. And that's because they don't want to pay for the surgeries, but also, when they basically sit there and say, oh, I can't live as a man anymore. Well, that's where you either basically turn around. I know a couple girls from people that literally had weapons. They lost their weapons, right, for trying to kill themselves. Instead, they ended up going through a sex change, and they're better for it. But a lot of these people these days, the older generations are the ones doing it. The younger generation, they claim they're going to be suicidal. So if you're always suicidal, if you're feeling suicidal, get help. First thing and foremost, you don't go and say, I need a sex change, otherwise I'm going to kill myself. You need to get help first so the clinics or the hospital can help you in the right course of action so you can get the help you need. The more you put in the documentations for the clinics to help the trans community, the more better the government's going to realize that this will help. Otherwise, if they don't do it, which they're not, and the numbers aren't stacked up after so many years, then what's going to happen? If they're going to just take it away from the trans community because they don't think it's saving lives. And then if you have, they say currently there's like 1.4 million transgendered people pre or post and that's pre and post combo, or in between transitioning. That's not including cross dressers or whatever. But transitioning to female full time and all this crap, and so their opinion is 1.4 million that have, say, 1 million of them committed suicide. That might turn the tides for the government to do something. The government basically realized that, say, 1.2, 1.3 million committed suicide because they couldn't go through sex change. The government might just use that as another card also to get out of it, saying, and the government's saying it's a mental illness. So if it's a mental illness, they should treat it. But the government's also turning around and saying, that, oh, well, there's too many trannies trying to get on disability for the free sex change of Medicare and Medicaid. So a lot of them have all these disabilities and mental problems, and they're like, oh, well, you're this or you're that. We're not treating it. But I've seen Chloe's exhibit file where it stated, that, oh, I'm disabled because of this, this, this. And they were using the overall transgender card to deny her in Ohio. So, just depends on what's going on. So, but you get the idea. So, anyways, so like I said, I got 2 spreadsheets to do. I got Chloe to go get corn dogs, and then it's Forrest Gump time, followed by King Ralph maybe, or I will put in Rambo Last Blood. I thought about doing Rambo Last Blood tomorrow because it's rented. Once I activate it, it's got like 2 days to watch, so it's like 2 or 3 days. So I got a time window. Same with Flowers of War. So it's fine and dandy because of it. I do love my Amazon, Prime. So I do watch a few movies from time to time. I also been wondering about seeing about if Amazon. I gotta find out about getting a replacement copy of the Rain Man. Definitely want the Rain Man. Definitely want the Rain Man. Yeah, I get it right. So for all of you out there watching this, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will update you tomorrow whether I do spreadsheets or whatever, and I also want to say the movies are keeping me at bay, so I don't do anything stupid like get drunk. And frankly, I find that to be a lot more. Movies are more entertaining than getting drunk, because you get drunk one night. I drank an entire fifth in one night, and it did not feel good. So to me, I don't want any more boozy. And because the last 2 batches I drank the last couple months, utterly crap. I mean, my body just can't handle it. So, anyways, with that said, thanks everyone for watching. Please stay tuned for another video tomorrow. I better make up some coffee while Chloe's out so I can stay up for our movies. So please add subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion. Hit that like, subscribe button. It's wholesome fun for family. Hit that bell notification. It's wholesome fun for your doggies or your bunnies and grandmas. Look for a new video tomorrow, possibly, because it's Sunday, and, I'll keep you informed with the laptop. Thanks for watching. Cptains Log out. USS Excelsior, NCC 77245. This transmission ends now.